fully caffeinated.
All right, let's do this then.
This is the Jeff and Bill Show.
I don't agree with that.
They don't always agree, but hey, at least they have coffee.
Coffee.
And each other.
I love you, man.
God help us.
I want to bless him. We need all the help we can get.
Now here's Jeff Hunt and Bill Thorpe. The Jeff and Bill Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
9 a.m. in the Mile High City on this Thursday, August 14th, 2025. Good morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned in to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights, hottest takes from the right, left, and center. Coming up after News and Comment with Blake Olson, Amy Sherman's going to join us. She's the Vice President of Public Affairs for Junior Achievement Rocky Mountain, preparing young people to have the knowledge and skills they need to own their economic success, plan for their future, and make smart academic and economic choices. It's going to be a great conversation, especially in light of the last hour. We're talking about how sports gambling sending young people into really big problems, especially
losing
young
money,
men.
now we're making money.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to turn this ship around.
Yeah, that's right. And we didn't even plan it. I'm like,
I know.
this just fits perfectly.
It's so
Bad
cool.
ideas, now good ideas.
Yes.
And junior achievement is the right way for young people to go. So we'll talk with Amy coming up here, but now it's time for News and Comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, News and Comment.
Good morning. Thursday, 82, sunny, smoke from the fires on the western slope in the air. Emergency declaration issued by the governor, hoping things will improve on the western slope with the fires, expecting a high of 98 today. This portion of the news sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story: a joint news conference will be held with DJT and Russian President Putin following their meeting in Alaska tomorrow. The White House confirmed the news earlier today and said the two leaders will meet one-on-one before having lunch, followed by speaking to reporters. They hope to end the war in Ukraine. Ukrainians' pocket-sized leader left out.
The Ukrainian president was not invited to the Putin meeting at a U.S. military base in Alaska, but President Trump says he anticipates a second summit, including Zelensky.
I would like to do it almost immediately.
We shall see. Happens tomorrow. The deployment of federal officers to the streets of D.C. is being protested by some residents, not others.
I agree with it. I was born and raised in the district, and I've never seen the things that I see today with children as young as 3 years old being shot. I mean, where does that happen? I think it's a bad idea to fear what this president is doing. I mean, he actually lives in the city now. I mean, come on. He would be foolish, I think, to ignore things like that. A child 3 years old being shot.
Boy, great point. And then this dude, he breaks it down for all those thinking about doing wrong.
We are, listen, to all my homies, man, everybody in D.C., man, listen, I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but check this out. Man, they got the National Guards, they got DEA, the FBI, Park Police, Capitol Police, D.C. Police, all working together. Trump got these niggas on a mission. So what I'm saying to y'all is now ain't the time in my city, in D.C. I don't know about nobody else. He ain't do that nowhere else. But it's a state of emergency in my city. So all I'm saying to you is now ain't the time to be riding around with guns and drinking and smoking weed. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. A plan to redraw California's congressional map will be announced by Governor Newsom today, who, in God's name, honestly, would ever believe this snake. 12:30 presser this afternoon to talk about it. John Solomon continues to report on snakes, the ones in D.C., the deep state. Latest findings include more of Hillary's corruption and How about John Kennedy, Senator John Kennedy, on the crazy lefties in D.C. presently?
And I don't mean any disrespect. I don't know Mr. Jeffries that well. I know Senator Schumer very well. So I say this with respect. Chuck and Hakeem need to go to Amazon, buy some testicles, and stand up to the loon wing of their party. And until they're willing to do that, I haven't heard Senator Schumer say anything bad about Mondami. I mean, the guy's a socialist.
He was on Hannity last night. He never disappoints, ever. Kennedy doesn't. First Lady Melania Trump is threatening a $1 billion lawsuit against Hunter Biden for these comments he made about her while he was painting one of his creations.
Epstein introduced Melania to Trump. The connections are like so wide and deep. Anyway, why do we think they don't want the files released? I don't know. I think John, that thing that John Hallman says is like a long time.
He goes on and on. I mean, this is from a crack addict who had the videos of the prostitutes, and he's ridiculous. The First Lady issued a letter to Biden and his attorney demanding that he immediately remove and retract the content and issue an apology or face legal action. One of rock's most iconic guitars, Eddie Van Halen's 1982 Kramer electric guitar, will go up for auction in October. The black and white and red striped guitar is expected to fetch between $2 and $3 million. That's pretty impressive. Okay, here's some Taylor Swift news. Here we go, whatever.
And for a fortnight there we
know everything you need to know.
Blake, I've been thinking about this. They've been dating for 2 years.
Yeah. Has it been 2 years?
Yeah, I looked this up. They've been dating 2 years.
They're married then.
Well, what is it? I'm sorry, but what is Travis Kelce waiting for?
Yeah, what is the deal? Is he waiting to see if she gets fat or not? Or
I know she's not. She's a pop star. She's a world-class, beautiful pop star. She's got tons of. I don't know what Travis is waiting for at this point.
I don't know either. Why doesn't she just break up with him? I mean, yeah, you're right. What is he waiting for?
I don't know.
Great point.
Maybe it's her. Maybe she's the one that's saying, "Hold on, I'm just not quite ready."
Possibly.
But if you're the guy, I mean, it doesn't get. I don't think it gets any better. I don't know.
Than her?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, we don't have the same politics. We don't have the same faith thing, which all that matters, right? But if you're a guy, you're like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, that's
she's
true.
like one of the world's most beautiful pop stars. She's one of the world's most wealthy women. She's likable to a lot of people. Obviously, Trump and her don't get along. But I don't know. Sorry, this is a random tangent. But I was talking with Amy, too, about this. We were talking about Taylor. I'm just going, I don't get it. I don't, at this point, what is he waiting for?
Yeah, I don't
Someone
know.
else? Who else is going to come along, Travis?
Blake, I'm going to try to save this real quickly here for Jeff because he doesn't understand the landmine he just stepped into. Okay, so hang on, play with me here. We're gonna save Jeff here. You know, Jeff, I think you're completely and totally wrong. I have seen your wonderfully beautiful and talented wife, Mrs. Jeff, and there's no way you could ever find anybody more beautiful than that. Just like there's no way I would ever date Taylor Swift or marry her because of the wonderful woman I have. See, I'm trying to save you here, man.
No, I'm just like trying to provide a little bit of a logical
Blake, he's still
analysis
talking.
to it,
He's
where
digging
I'm
the
like,
hole deeper.
what is he
The hole's
waiting?
getting deeper.
Who? Someone else is going to come along, Travis? You think there's someone else out there for you?
Yep.
That's weird to me.
Jeff just keeps digging the hole. For me, it's the idea.
And by the way, Amy's like, oh, gosh,
what's the over-under again? What is it?
Yeah, I know it's over-under. The thing for me is that if it is the lifestyle that I bet that if I had to guess at the core that Travis Kelce has to be having pause because he retires from the NFL and he somewhat fades into obscurity because you don't necessarily recognize the older NFL players at the store, and unless he's going around and going to be doing something, and he could, on one of the TV broadcasts, but that's an easy life. You know, they fly you to the city, you show up on a Friday, you brief, and then
Amy,
you go
sometimes I
off
ask a question and we end up with a long analysis.
Yeah, this is what happens.
That
I really
happens with
apologize.
brains,
Yeah,
with Bill's brain.
It's my fault. And so, but the idea is, if you're Mr. Taylor, yeah, just keep going. Mr. Taylor, there's a whole bunch of stuff that comes with that as far as having to travel and being around, and also the demands on her time and understanding that where you want to be in that, because I've talked to a number, and Blake knows this too. You've talked to a number of retired athletes, Blake, that finding that next mission in life is very, very hard for them. A lot of them struggle with not having that goal, that golden ring to chase anymore, because there's a very structured life inside of being a professional athlete. You know when the season is coming, you know what practice is like, you know what the goal is, and then when that's gone, who are you and what do you do? And if I had to guess, I think that's the hiccup for Travis. I think that's the hiccup.
I bet you're right.
But again,
I bet he.
Amy, would you like to join this conversation?
I wish I would have brought my 20-year-old daughter.
We could talk about her favorite album is, and she sent out the new album.
Oh, we've been talking about it at home.
Have you been to the shows? Do you go with your daughter to the shows?
I have been to a few shows.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the Eras tour with her, but
were they fun?
I wasn't invited.
Taylor Swift. Oh yeah,
they were fun when she was little. I mean, it was a great mother-daughter thing to do together.
Do you think they're going to get married?
I think they are married.
Yeah, they are.
You think it happened already, right?
I do.
Whoa! See, now we're in a whole. Normally, it's political conspiracies we get into.
That's interesting.
What makes you think that?
Yeah.
I just think that they're keeping their relationship private on that side of things, and we'll find out later that there was some, amazing private wedding somewhere that we didn't know about.
Ooh, okay. No,
interesting.
Probably on the 13th
I
of
love
some
how
day.
Amy just jumped right into this.
She's like,
It's just awesome.
Yeah. Okay, now, and Amy, gotta ask you, because again, I don't know if you would classify yourself as necessarily a Swiftie or just Swiftie adjacent.
I'm a mom of a Swiftie.
Good. Okay, so you're Swiftie adjacent. That's fair enough. That's good.
Jason.
Do you think? Appreciate that. Do you think that the Swifties would feel a sort of emotional betrayment by not being able to go on that wedding journey with Taylor, not being able to do I'm getting ready as a bride, I'm getting ready for the ceremony, here's the day, here's my flowers, here's the cake, here are those pictures. If she came out later and said, here's what I did without you, do they feel betrayed?
Maybe at first, but then when the book comes out with all the wedding pictures, they're going to rush out and buy it.
Okay, you are Swiftie adjacent. The fact that you threw the collectible book out there already, yeah, you are Swiftie adjacent. High five, nicely done. You know your stuff.
Now, one of the debates we had the other day, it's nice to have a female perspective because there's the three dudes debating this.
Especially debating Taylor Swift.
Right.
Yeah, that was some genius conversation there.
The question was, would Taylor get married in Kansas City? I don't think she would.
I don't think so, no.
Yeah. I don't think the football matters that much to her.
No.
Will the stadium underwrite it?
No.
If they'll underwrite it, then I think she goes. And in fact, I think she would even have yellow and red as her colors.
Hell no.
All right. Thank you.
Red and yellow bow ties. Okay, I'm going to disagree with all of you. Well, at least
that's unusual on the show.
Yeah. Anyone who thinks they like each other is crazy. I think Kelce is going to be tired of her talking about herself, and that's going to end it. I'm telling you. That's what's going to happen. Now I'm convinced.
It is hard to be married to those superstars.
Yeah, I'm telling you. All right, Diamondbacks in town tonight, taking on the superstars from the Colorado Rockies roster. 79 in Lafayette, 80 in Englewood, 82 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continue. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
It'll be another hot day along the Front Range, but subtropical moisture is slowly increasing, so thunderstorm chances will be going up for the rest of the week. Highs today, middle to upper 90s, a few gusty afternoon and evening thunderstorms. Lower 60s tonight. Lower 90s Friday and Saturday. Friday and Saturday, 2 days where there's good chances of afternoon and evening storms. Weather is service of L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. For quick, trustworthy, and dependable service, call L&L Heating and Air Conditioning at 720-851-1691. Visit them online at bestdenverhvac.com. You'll be comfortable with L&L. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Well, Junior Achievement Rocky Mountain gives young people the knowledge and skills they need to own their economic success, plan for their future, and make smart academic and economic choices. You know, there's that complaint that you often get that kids are coming out of the school, they know random facts, they don't know how to balance a checkbook, pay their taxes, keep out of debt, those types of things. Well, Junior Achievement provides important education to young people to help them build a future for themselves. And joining us live in studios, Amy Sherman, Vice President of Public Affairs for Junior Achievement Rocky Mountain. Amy, thank you for joining the program.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is fun.
Jumping right into T Swift. Speaking of good economic decisions, she's very wealthy. So, Amy, let's talk about what you all do, first of all, with Junior Achievement Rocky Mountain.
Okay, so in a nutshell, we are making sure kids become self-sufficient and know about money, and they have a career to pathway to purpose in their career. So we have focus on three things: entrepreneurship, career readiness, and personal financial education. So making sure all those things fit in one package and help kids become self-sufficient as they become adults.
I imagine that's incredibly empowering for kids. And I'll give you firsthand experience. My daughter went through personal finance class, right? And
Great.
Scored a 98%. We're all super happy for her. She loved it. I mean, she's now, Dad, I got to set up some CDs. I got to get my 401k going, right? But what I've noticed for my daughter, who's very quiet, very shy, is that for her, it was a sense of empowerment with regards to her future, a sense of certainty on how she could plan to move forward well. So it seems like what you're handing kids is really a tool set to build a strong future and give them that sense of self-empowerment.
Yeah, it's absolutely giving them confidence to manage their own money and make good choices throughout their career and their life. I mean, every big decision in your life has a financial decision tied to it. So the more they know, the better choices they'll make.
So let's talk practicality. What does that look like? Are there programs that they can attend? Do you work with schools? Are you online? Talk about the skill set and the toolkit that you
all have. Of it. So Junior Achievement Rocky Mountain covers part of Colorado and all of Wyoming, and we have classroom education. So we are going into the classroom. We also have experiential learning. So we have 2 finance parks, one in Thornton, one in the Tech Center. Our beautiful building in the Tech Center is called the Free Enterprise Center, and we have 2 experiential learning parts of the Free Enterprise Center. One is Finance Park, and one is the Dream Accelerator. So one is more focused on kids coming for a field trip to talk about budgeting and their life and businesses, and the other one is more of a pathway to their career exploration, where they learn about different careers in Colorado, tying them to salaries, tying them to things they might be interested in, thinking about what they're good at, thinking about what they want to do, and how to tie that all back around to your salary, the taxes that come out, the family choices you make, the purchases you make. So it's all tied together in those 3 concepts.
That's Amy Sherman. She's the Vice President of Public Affairs for Junior Achievement Rocky Mountain. Now, Amy, there's record credit card debt among Americans right now. It feels like financial literacy and planning is one of the biggest challenges facing Americans. Talk to us about what you guys do with the Finance Park, the Dream Accelerator, the education prepares them. What are you teaching kids particularly to prepare them so that they don't end up with record credit card debt?
So about 87,000 plus kids went through JA programs last year in the Rocky Mountain region, and they are learning everything from not just budgeting concepts, but your career pathways and all these concepts in the classroom. We have volunteers from the business community come to the classroom and talk about their own careers. They help teach the classes, and then kids come to our centers and they get to have that field trip experiential learning where you really remember it. We meet people all the time that say like, oh, I started a JA business, or I remember going to Young Ameritown, or, they're a partner of ours in this space. And people have core memories of going through a JA program. And so it could be an entrepreneurial one, it could be a career readiness one, or a personal finance one. Recently in Colorado, we were the 29th state to pass legislation that will require every kid in Colorado to graduate with a personal financial literacy class. So they're going to take a semester-long class with curriculum that's personal finance based, and they have to take that to graduate starting in 27-28.
And to give people a sense of what that class looks like, because we walked through it, my daughter, who's 16 years old, teamed up with some other classmates, and they formed a family. And the family had to put together a budget. And I remember my daughter coming home going, Dad, childcare is so expensive. I don't know how anybody can afford it. So much money goes out to childcare. And you're like, that's good to learn at 16. You want to have some financial stability before you have to start paying those childcare bills. But they had to build a budget around, car loans, insurance, taxes, food, groceries, going out to eat. And so it gave them a real kind of reality check.
Absolutely.
That coming in just a few years, 16, you get a little bit of a buffer because your parents help you. But 18, 19, 20, you're going to have to start taking on this types of responsibilities. So make wise life decisions.
Right. We have a station that's called Reality Check. And so you get to choose the type of car you want to have, the type of housing you want to have, what type of family situation you want to have, and then you enter your salary of what you think you'll make, and then it takes the taxes out, and you choose if you're a mindful saver or spender, and then you find out is there a gap, and how are you going to fix that gap so that you are in the black. But also in our finance park, we have those stations. We have where you buy furniture, where you get insurance, college loans, apartments, where you buy a house, where you buy a car. We have a food, Chick-fil-A's in there, and you learn how to budget for food. And young kids now, they manage money in such a different way with the DoorDashes and the Uber Eats. And so we're really trying to make sure they know how to budget, even though they're moving money in a new mobile way through their different.
Well, they don't walk around with cash in their pockets, right?
No, they don't. No. So you want to
and
make
they don't
sure
even actually walk around with credit cards. My kids were talking about this. Their phones.
Yes.
Everything's Google Pay or Apple Pay.
Yes. Yeah, and my son and I have 2 kids in college, and my son and I were just talking about last night about making a food budget this year because he eats out so much. And he's like, Mom, will you please help me budget for food? And I'm like, first of all, quit eating out so much and make more food at home. But they are always Venmoing each other. Someone will buy all the food and then they Venmo each other. See, it's hard to budget the way they move money now too. So we really have to kind of meet them where they are and teach them about budgeting more in a gamified and digital way now.
Fascinating. That's Amy Sherman. She's Vice President of Public Affairs for Junior Achievement Rocky Mountain. We're talking about the great work they're doing. If you want to connect with them, you can at jarockymountain.org, jarockymountain.org. Now, you talked about how things are changing, and I find that fascinating as well, is money now is just a number in a bank account that moves through their phone to basically another bank account. So that's one of the newer challenges, but a lot of the stuff is just tried and true over time. What have you guys found at Rocky Mountain Junior Achievement that is like the most important to try to get across to young people? Like, what are some of the foundational basics? If you're starting with just kids that are totally new to this, what are some of the foundational elements you train them to do?
Do you remember playing the game of life?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot like that, but in person, and it's when kids are learning in an experiential way, they're retaining a lot of this information because it's fun. Yeah. So we're giving them a career for the day, and they have to build a budget and a life around their career that we're giving them, and they remember that. And so they remember learning about insurance at the insurance station or how to buy a car at the car store. So we're making sure that they get it in the classroom, they hear it from volunteers, and they get to experience it. So we're teaching them in a variety of ways where the concepts stick.
That's Amy Sherman, Vice President of Public Affairs with Junior Achievement Rocky Mountain. What are some of the newer challenges that they're facing that maybe younger or older generations didn't have to face? I would say things like buying a home. It's got to be harder now. Do you guys get into that with the high school kids, how you can prepare for that? I mean, there's some financial realities that this next generation's facing that my parents and myself, we didn't have to necessarily face with.
We do have an apartment store to talk about how to plan for rental living, and we also have a home store where you can plan to buy a home. So they do learn about both sides of that issue, and it is more expensive. I mean, when my husband and I bought our first home in 2000, there's nothing you could buy on the market now for that amount of price. So, and my kids are thinking about, like, when will we be able to buy a house, in our 30s and our 40s? So we do talk about those concepts a lot.
But it seems like with that reality, getting a financial education is even more important than ever. It's
Absolutely.
going to be harder to buy a house. And so if you just leave it up to, well, we're going to pay rent a little bit here, and I'm going to DoorDash everything on a daily basis, and you're not preparing yourself well for a very serious reality, which is it's going to be harder to buy a house than ever before.
Right. No, we teach them everything from Roth IRAs when they're young to savings and what you kind of have to budget for in all the categories. But you get to make the choices of what you want to do. Do you want to live in the city and rent? Do you want to live in a suburb and buy? And how many kids do you want? And what the cost is? And what kind of job do you want? And what kind of income will you get? So we give them all these pathways and help them make good choices to get there.
Yeah. It seems to me, too, that one of the things you want to talk about with kids is the type of degree you're going to get. And I'll talk to you all personally about this because I got a degree in philosophy. Now, when you get a degree in philosophy in college, it makes for a lot of fun classes because we're debating everything, all that stuff. But I remember distinctly 2 weeks before graduation going, oh, wait, there's no philosophy store to go work at after this.
Well, see, Amy, Jeff was sitting around with his friends, and they were all pondering the deepness of why they have no money.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, do you talk to kids about trades? Do you talk to them about the type of degrees that getting a philosophy degree, while somewhat noble, may create some challenges for you when you're ready to graduate?
We talk to them about exploring career choices and the pathways to get there. We're not telling them you have to go to college for 4 years. We're not telling them the way to get there. We're saying if you want to start a business, we will help show you how to start a business and how to succeed in business. If you want to go into the trades or 4-year degree or beyond, here are the industries in Colorado. Here's what they pay. You could look at an aerospace career and you could go about it a whole different ways. You could go into trades and get certificates. You could go to college and get a master's. Our aerospace industry has a lot of different positions, and you don't have to go to college for all of them. They will help train you. And we also have in Colorado so many ways to get credits in high school for higher education or to go to a trade school. And so, we're just teaching them how to make good choices, not telling them the pathway they need to go.
Well, I appreciate that. That's Amy Sherman. She's Vice President of Public Affairs with Junior Achievement Rocky Mountain, because you're empowering the kids, you're equipping them to be self-sufficient, to be entrepreneurial, to create a future for themselves, as opposed to just being dependent on other people and the government for the rest of their lives. You're really empowering them. So as you're working with these kids, what aspect do you find that really connects well with them? Is it the idea of, if you save $5 a day, compounding in a 401k over 40 years, you're going to be a millionaire when this all comes out? Or is it, here's the entrepreneurial pathway, how you build your own business? Yeah, it's going to be a tremendous amount of work, but you can really do something amazing. Is it the trades where you go, yeah, spending a few years apprenticing as a plumber is going to open up tremendous opportunity with all the kids? And maybe it's different in different demographics, but is there one that you see the kids really drawn to, that they get pretty excited about?
There is not one pathway. In fact, we talked to them about how your life is not linear. And if you do something you enjoy and you find out what you're good at, you will be more successful. And if you have more confidence in where you're going, then you're going to end up in a better place. There's so many of us that go to college and you're going to major in I was going to major in pharmacy. And then I was like, I hate this. I don't want to do this. But so many of us don't think about where we want to go before we jump into college or a career. And it's okay to make a change as long as you really think about what you're good at and what you want to do, but you have those foundational skills to get there. You know what I'm saying?
That's Amy Sherman, Vice President, Public Affairs with Junior Achievement Rocky Mountain. We'll continue our conversation. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or text us. Phone line 303-696-1971, or text us on the Dan Caplis Law Text line at 819-5115. We'll continue. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader News Talk 710 KNUS.
to the Jeff and Bill Show. Joining us live in studios, Amy Sherman. Amy's the Vice President of Public Affairs for Junior Achievement Rocky Mountain. We're talking about all the great things Rocky Mountain Junior Achievement's doing, giving young people the knowledge and skills they need to own their economic success, plan for their future, and make smart academic and economic choices. Our daughter took a personal finance class sophomore year of high school, changed her life, gave her a lot of confidence about the future, gave her direct steps she could take to ensure financial success for herself, for the family she's going to build someday. It was great. One of the best classes she's taken, and in fact, now required that kids need to take that class in order to graduate. Junior Achievement Rocky Mountain providing a lot of those skill sets to teachers. A lot of professional development happening for teachers, right?
Yeah, we merged last year an organization called Economic Literacy Colorado into Junior Achievement, and I was the former CEO of that organization. And that is the teacher professional development, where we give teachers skills and curriculum for economics and economic thinking and personal financial education. So we're helping them with curriculums to take back to schools. So that's all in JA now. It's awesome. So we provide teachers and students with all the skills they need to teach it and learn it. And
I imagine you're hearing from teachers and administrators, all right, we've got this new law, we got this new requirement. Look, I was trained to be an educator in maybe mathematics or English, and now I've got to dive into personal finance. It's a whole new realm that maybe they probably weren't prepared for coming up through their whole teacher training. How's it going for teachers? What are you hearing from them?
We have a curriculum for them to take right back to the classroom for high school. So we already have that at JA. We are providing that to our teachers, but we also do professional development. We had a week-long course at our office this summer where teachers came in and they learned about different fun things they can do to teach personal finance and economics and how they can mix economics and personal finance together. And so, yeah, we're giving them all the skills they need, and then they get the teacher credits, and it's an accredited course for the teachers.
All of that's at jarockymountain.org, jarockymountain.org. All right, families, heading back to school. Kids, you got the pictures out front, all that stuff. Our family's doing it. Kids are excited, school pictures. How are you all getting the families ready? Maybe providing opportunities for homeschool families with Junior Achievement Rocky Mountain. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, we help all types of schools and teachers. So we are public, private, homeschool, online school. Every type of student is welcome. It's free to come to JA. So right now it's back to school. So we are getting back into the classroom. We're setting up our volunteers to get back in the classroom. And then we'll start setting up our experiential learning field trips to come to Finance Park and the Dream Accelerator after they've done some work in the classroom.
That's Amy Sherman, Vice President of Public Affairs for Junior Achievement, joining Jeff and Bill live. Now, you're talking about the experiential learning. We talked about how the Colorado legislature passed some personal finance classes that Jeff's daughter went through and learned a lot. That's why he's super excited that he can refuse to pay her allowance anymore. No, you learn at JA how to green light and entrepreneur yourself out of this.
On that note, dude, we've got this great app. This is an advertisement. I don't know if you've run into this. Maybe you have a recommendation on it, but Greenlight? Have you guys run into
There are a lot
apps?
of apps out there, and Greenlight is one of them, yeah.
Yeah, where you can put money into their allowance that way, and then they can invest it.
Yeah.
They do micro purchases of Starbucks stock. It's kind of cool. But go ahead, Bill.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, what I was looking at is, Amy, talk to our audience about when you're interacting with the kids, when they show up at the experiential learning at the Free Enterprise Center, they're going through the Dream Accelerator, or when they're going through classes. What is the largest or top 2 misconceptions that our students have about finances? When you're here, where's that aha moment? They're like, oh my God, I had no idea that. Complete the sentence.
Well, there's some little ones that are like, I had no idea that I have to pay for streaming and all the different streaming costs X amount. I mean, they think that, the internet is free. And so some of those small expenses that families pay is a surprise to them.
The streaming being free. Okay, this is Story from me being a parent. Okay,
yeah.
4 kids. One of our kids has the little the account at school for lunch, and she is just running through money. I mean, it's just like, whoosh, it's empty all the time.
Yes.
And we finally sat her down. It was a little financial literacy. It was, I'm sorry, sweetie, but you're spending all this money. You got to slow down the stuff that you're buying at school with your account. And she looks at us and says, what do you mean? Right, no, the account when you buy your school lunch. She goes, no account. She goes, there's a machine. I push a number. I get the number right. I get the food for free.
Yeah.
She thought it was a game. She thought if she guessed the number right, which was her account number, she got the food for free. She had no idea that mom and dad were putting money into an account, and she was drawing on it at the school. She thought food if you guessed the number, like, what's today's secret number? 21. Oh, you're a winner. Here, have all the food. That's what she thought. Yeah, she was that obtuse about economics. And so it was that moment. So, yeah, sorry, continue.
No, I think there's those little things that are big aha moments, but what kids really don't understand is how much of the pie is healthcare and a mortgage and a car payment. Like, they don't understand, what the cost of those things are and how you have to budget. So there are big things and there are little things, but they all leave with so much more information about how the world works, the whole economics of the world and how the world works, but also the personal finance for your own family.
Yeah, it's like that sitcom where they say, who's FICA and why is he taking all my money?
Those are some of the funniest videos.
Yes.
The very first time they open a paycheck.
Oh,
and
that's
and bring it back to the earlier one. In fact, Bill, we were having a conversation as a family when I was talking about the $60,000 that RTD is going to spend on scooters. And that's coming from your paycheck. And my daughter was like,
oh, just wait.
Yeah, one of the best lessons is when they're teenagers and they get their first paycheck and they're like, wait, I thought I made this amount of money. Why does it say this amount? And then you start going through those lessons.
Which as a conservative, I like the fact they wake up to how much government is coming in and taking out of their pockets when they're young people.
That's why as parents in the Thorpe household, when our kids receive birthday gifts or free gifts from grandparents, we would shave a bit off the top. We called it the household tax.
Yeah,
yes,
right.
I know you just got $20, but you only have 15 because $5 goes to the house.
Brilliant.
That's Amy Sherman. She's Vice President of Public Affairs. Junior Achievement Rocky Mountain will continue. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Wake up, Denver. There's no better place to start your morning than IHOP, where the pancakes are fluffy, the coffee is hot, and the smiles are endless. Wednesday, August 27th, join Jeff and Bill as they broadcast their show live from IHOP at 1595 South Colorado Boulevard in Denver. You're officially invited to be part of the excitement. Come grab your favorite breakfast and watch the Jeff and Bill Show in action from 6 to 10 a.m. Don't forget to try the special Jeff and Bill breakfast. Pancakes, any style eggs, and crispy bacon, all for just $7.10. It's a deal as good as their hot takes. All they need is you. Bring your appetite, bring your friends, and kick off your day with great food and great conversation. See you Wednesday, August 27th at IHOP.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Joining us live in studios, Amy Sherman. She's Vice President of Public Affairs for Junior Achievement Colorado Rocky Mountain. They're doing wonderful work providing real skill sets for young people to plan their economic futures, to have that certainty, to have that pathway forward, to have the tools to be able to make decisions that's going to set them up for success so they're not racked with credit card debt, college debt, government dependency, those types of things. This is an empowering program, and we want you to get involved with it, whether it's financially by supporting the work that they do or by volunteering. And you can do that by going to jarockymountain.org, jarockymountain.org.
Yeah, you can also support them by parking in their parking lot during Fiddler's Green concerts, because it charges $10 to park in the parking lot.
Do they?
I'm
no.
hoping. You guys don't get money off of that?
Yeah, we do, but
you
more
do?
than
Okay.
$10.
Oh, really? Okay. There you
They're
go.
capitalists.
So there we go. Last time I rolled through it was about $10, so there must be a little bit of time
The price
since I ran
went up.
through there. Ah, there we go.
Inflation.
So again,
Those tariffs, Bill.
Yeah. So again, if you're just going to go and you're going to have concerts at Fiddler's Green, the JA parking lot is a fantastic convenience. It's a great walk. Park in their parking lot. Support the kids.
Thank you.
So what are the new programs you got going for folks?
Yeah, this year we have this really great program called JA Business Quest for middle schoolers, and it's a virtual simulation on starting a business. So we want them to get some entrepreneurial skills in middle school. And so we have this great new program that we're teaching in a lot of middle schools. So if anyone wants more information on that, that's wonderful. And I come from a Chamber of Commerce economic development background, so I just love the entrepreneurial side of what we do at JA, so this Business Quest is cool. And then another thing we're working on, employers often say that they want the workforce to have more essential skills, durable skills, soft skills. So we're working on a credential that we want to provide students so they can take these micro credits and then end up with a credential that they can go show employers. Like, I learned soft skills. I have essential skills to be in a workplace.
Like, give us an example of what would a micro or soft skill be?
Looking at someone in the eye, handshaking, being able to write emails and business letters. So more of those soft skills that adults or kids
that you
don't
actually
have
need
anymore.
in work?
Yes, that
right.
you need to have. You
Kids
know,
don't have that.
interpersonal skills and so things you need to be in the business place that employers say are lacking.
Yeah, the number of times that my kids are surprised that I will talk to any random person wherever we are. I'm like, how do you do that? I'm like, how do you not?
I
Because
know,
it's a
me
skill
too.
that you need to have. You need to be able to broach that subject, especially in any sort of a business platform. There's going to be an uncomfortable conversation at some point or another. You've got to be able to navigate that, and you've got to be able to read the verbal and nonverbal signs. You have to. It's a really, really important skill that most people don't understand.
Well, Junior Achievement Rocky Mountain setting up kids here in Colorado, Wyoming for financial success, for personal success. You got to prepare your kids for what they're going to face. And jarockymountain.org does that in an incredible way. Visit jarockymountain.org, their website, jarockymountain.org. Junior Achievement, Rocky Mountain. Amy Sherman, Vice President of Public Affairs. Thank you so much for taking time to join us.
Thank you. It's been really fun to talk about Taylor Swift and personal financial education.
She's got a future in talk radio,
Oh, God,
too.
yeah. And talk about financial
Very
education.
talented.
Taylor Swift. Damn.
Right?
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, just damn.
I'm going to go back to my original question. Why
You're the
hasn't
best.
Travis proposed yet? All right.
Put a ring on it.
If you missed any of it, go to 710knus.com. You're listening to Jeff and Bill.
This is KNUS.